During each month's meeting, our board hears reports regarding topics that fall into three main categories. Those three categories are our strategic plan, our core business of student learning, and operational effectiveness. In this particular clip, we're going to focus on the strategic plan. During the December 2021 board meeting, there was a presentation or a report that was given by Kirk Schramm, our Chief School Leadership Officer, and Dr. April Madden, our Chief Family and Student Support Services Officer, regarding an update on school safety and the well-being of our students and staff. We're here to provide you with a few excerpts and high points of that presentation. Let's take a look.
We continue to listen to the voices of our community. Recently, 2 conversations were held at the McDonough and Fairview PACs. Participants heard from our board chair and vice chair, and a panel that included school and district leaders, school resource officers, and leaders from our sheriff's department. Topics included COVID, social media, security and well-being, and following the panel, small group sessions were conducted, allowing every community member to have their voice heard and to address the topics, and all of this feedback was collected. And so feedback from this and other sources validates that this board has made the right investments in safety and security, both in those that have no cost to those that are investments, and continue to make solutions that will continue to evolve.
Laying the foundation for the work of the community's strategic plan that systematically weaves wellness and instructional tactics together in a meaningful way did not happen by chance. As Kurt mentioned, we captured the voices of our community through our community conversations, which emphasize the value of connectivity and well-being. Students learning at high levels has deep roots in positive relationships and a sense of belonging in the classroom and school environments. As we studied the words of our community, students, staff, and leaders, this board was able to forecast the emerging challenges that were ahead of us and develop what is being recognized across the nation as an innovative approach to meeting the needs of our students and our employees. The solution to recovering from a crisis will never happen overnight. Are we perfect? No. Are we relentless? Yes. There will be challenges woven throughout this process. However, we will continue to have a laser-like focus to create comprehensive systems of support for students. One lasting system of support is through our school care teams. Every school in Henry County schools provides immediate access to primary services through a dedicated care team, which consists of school counselors, social workers, clinic aides, psychologists, graduation coaches, cluster nurses, and mental health and wellness facilitators. The services that are provided are streamlined through the creation of this new infrastructure to meet the historic demand through our trained mental health and wellness facilitators. The investment has paid dividends in that this has allowed these responsibilities to shift from the teacher to a system of supports for immediate and timely response for our students' needs. Do you know what CARE team means, board? CARE. CARE stands for Caring Adult Responding Every Day. That's what it stands for, and that's why that name is so important to us, because we want to make sure that a child is connected to a caring adult in the building. This team, led by the mental health and wellness facilitators, has created guardrails and support schools in attendance expectations, support structures and systems, incentives, interventions, and shared accountability expectations for all stakeholders. While them serving as a point of contact, student situations are evaluated and addressed by the mental health and wellness facilitator, or if their needs require additional services through the comprehensive system of support, the mental health wellness facilitator will align the needs of this service with the appropriate caring adult in the building or beyond. The outstanding work through this support model has led to a current partnership in national recognition with the Southeast Mental Health Technical Center and Emory University to share innovative practices for promoting positive mental health education. Like I said, are we perfect? But no, we're not. Are we relentless? Yes, we are. And are we innovative? Yes, we will continue to be innovative in our process and share so that other districts can be able to support their students as well. The investment, as I said before, has paid dividends in that it has allowed these responsibilities, like I shared, to be taken off the teacher in the classroom so that they can focus more on teaching, to a system of supports for immediate and timely response to students' needs. Additionally, Board, you recently acquired a tool that allows us to check in on our students and staff. This tool has led to our mental health and wellness facilitators and care teams in each school to provide targeted support to students and staff that is timely and intentional. Now, let me just share some of those numbers to show the impact, because we want to know this impact. In November alone, the mental health and wellness facilitator team has provided direct support for 2,895 students, 382 whole classes, and 904 teachers and staff. The care team made 1,119 parent contacts and provided attendance support to 1,097 families. The mental health and wellness facilitator delivered around 113 wellness activities with staff across the district, which you've probably seen on the Twitter feeds. Now, that was just November. Let me talk a little bit about between August and November. 14,795 student supports have been provided by Henry County school-based mental health and wellness facilitators for students dealing with some form of crisis, trauma, or anxiety, depression, behavior issues, and difficulty transitioning back into a school setting. 5,532 parent contacts have been made by the mental health and wellness facilitator about attendance, behavior, and emotional needs. And then 4,742 teacher and staff specific support by Henry County schools-based mental health and wellness facilitators for wellness checks and any type of stress and anxiety that they may have been experiencing in their classrooms. Now, or outside of their classrooms for that matter. Counselors, that was just mental health and wellness facilitator data. Let's talk a little bit about our counselors. Our counselors and social workers, 13,806 individual advisement and mini meeting sessions by counselors, 585 student wellness lessons. Our college and career readiness lessons have taken place, and 16,507 consultations with families, educators, and recruiters. Between our social workers and counselors, there were over 287 suicide protocol interventions. And 386 referrals to mental health agencies. 290 youth that are receiving foster care or provided services. 1,025 families were assessed and being served through our homeless program, which is referred to as McKinney-Vento, and they are receiving services. Social work contacts, 1,575 issues related to safety. 429 home visits by our social workers, and 11,052 consultations with school staff by our social workers to assist them. So I can go on and on, but this is just a snapshot of the data that will share how much of an impact and how having these things accessible and the tools to get the work done has been so impactful. An extended layer of support to address students' well-being comes through our community. Community partnerships help us to meet the needs of our students both inside and outside of school. One example is 500 families are served meals over the weekend through Operation Lunchbox. Tonight, you will have an opportunity to formalize a new partnership through a resolution that will allow us to work with community agencies through the Handle with Care program to address trauma that happens outside of school. This framework of support allows the law enforcement agencies to contact the school to make sure that we are alerted or notified of a child that may have experienced trauma outside of school so that we can assess and address the needs of the student when he or she returns to school. So because of this swift action that I spoke of with our staff along with our community, these professionals, through our comprehensive system of supports and partnerships, lives have been saved. And the critical needs of our students' personal health and well-being continue to be met. Now, it doesn't end there, though. Of course, our ultimate goal is to provide services to the fullest extent possible in a traditional setting. However, the unique needs of students may require more targeted intervention that leads to a student being served through a temporary or extended learning environment, such as the academies that you've heard of and you were allowed to be shared, that was shared with you previous months. Other models that we developed in the district to support the academic success of students, examples are in-school suspension, hospital homebound, Henry Schools of Scholars for our K-5 students, Excel, hospitalization, and others. We're excited, though, to build structures through board policy and regulations, no matter where the students are. We want to make sure that they always have a positive school experience. So through this new regulation board, student connectivity for reentry will be consistent from school to school. Each student reentering a Henry County school from an alternative location or displacement will have a success team that meets to develop a success plan for a student that may not be in a traditional setting. This ensures that the student is always in contact with a caring adult from Henry County schools and returning to a traditional setting with shared expectations from all stakeholders with a targeted design that supports the students and keeps them engaged to ensure their success when they return to school. Our community's Inspired Strategic Plan, specifically Strategic Action 4, calls for us to advance student and employee health, wellness, and support structures. And furthermore, Initiative 4 calls for us to develop a continuum of services to ensure that every student is learning in a safe and healthy environment. Our work continues to be engaged and driven through our community conversations and board your core belief that all learning environments should be supportive, safe, and secure. The update has provided a snapshot view of how we are prioritizing safety in our schools, from emergency response systems to comprehensive systems of support, to lead to sustainable practices, not fly-by-night practices, but sustainable practices that can be executed in each school to improve the overall personal health and wellness, leading to learning at high levels for all students.
Let me give you both a hand clap for what you're doing. You deserve it. Your teams deserve it. To hear that you have 287 suicide interventions, that's good to hear. And that is a testament of the work of the people in not only this room, but those that are not here today. It is also worrisome that we have got to face the reality that we are dealing with a special group of scholars who have never experienced these times, as well as teachers. And so therefore, when our community looks at our budget and they want to know why do we spend so much money on mental health facilitators, this speaks to the reason why we approved those mental health and wellness facilitators. Because not only does it save lives, but it helps to reduce the stress off of some teachers who themselves are going through a stressful time.
I'm going to be honest, I had a hard time holding back tears hearing those amazing numbers that represent precious lives that have been assisted during this trying time in this school year. I'm super grateful that this Board of Education approved the Henry Cares check-ins platform, as well as those mental health and wellness facilitators. And as I've been in schools, I've heard and seen happy, joyful tears of staff members within schools just sharing the amazing stories and the ways that those people have reached lives within their building. So that is phenomenal. And I cannot wait to hear the ways that those individuals continue to impact our students. And then, I was present a couple of years ago when that first community conversation happened following Parkland. But the check marks that you see here give me great confidence that the community concerns that were brought forth this last time will be addressed in the same way. I'm so proud of this team and all of the amazing staff that we have in our schools, that when we set out to do something and we hear from our community, it happens.
While this is just a monthly recap of the Board of Education meetings, you can find the full-length version by visiting our website or clicking on the links in the description section below.